I'm going to talk again in a video. This is a little different than usual, not a review or an opinion or anything. This is a bit, like, legit serious-ish. Now, I guess I'm going to talk about myself, but not just, like, I don't know, it's not supposed to be a complaint video, so I'm not expecting pity because, really, I mean, I don't know, I just don't get it. Now, this is sort of a couple interesting things about me. First, interesting thing you should know. I have a congenital heart defect, CHD. So that means my heart, pretty much congenital defect. I was born with a defect in my heart. It didn't grow right or something. I'd have 3 surgeries before I was 2. Yes, I still have a scar. I do have to go to the cardiologist 2 times a year. I have an EKG and an echo when I go. I have to take medication every day. When I was little, I would get tired easier from it. I guess it hasn't stopped me from that much, honestly. When I was a little kid, I did not go as fast as other kids, so I didn't learn athletics until a little later. But now I box, so that's pretty good. Like, I'm catching up. I didn't start catching up when it came to that stuff until I was in, like, around between, like, 3rd and 5th grade. Now, as I got getting older, it's getting easier, much easier. So that's good. Usually, when I'm, like, at the pool, it doesn't happen now that I'm older. But when I was a little kid, kids would just flat out ask, like, what is that? Might have been because it was more apparent when I was younger, the scar. It's still pretty apparent. I showed it to my one friend, and he was like, what? I guess because, like, I tend to wear t-shirts instead of low-cut shirts, so you would never see it. Like, it's not because I had it. I just tend to wear t-shirts instead. Another thing. I was on growth hormone from 1st grade to 8th grade. Nothing to do with my heart, but I wasn't growing, and I was tiny. So this is sort of for awareness for any of those things. I know they're both extremely, for kids who are newer to it, it could be, like, extremely tricky at first. You get used to it. For me, it was quite a while before, it was a long time, actually, like, after my shot, where I ended up getting the growth hormone shots, where I'd be like, I need my shot. And then I'd remember, oh, I don't need it anymore. Like, by 2nd grade, having a shot every single night was completely normal. It was like, okay, do this again. So kids, for families of kids who are going to start on it, or kids who are on it or going to, it's not that bad. It does sting a little, not as bad as the one to the doctors, believe me. Because when I get one at home, get one compared to the doctor, it was like nothing. And eventually it will end. For anyone with a congenital heart defect like me, don't be self-conscious about the scar, really. People don't I have never experienced one really making fun of it. People do ask a few questions, but that's just because they're ignorant and curious. It's not generally because they're rude. Sometimes, but if you're self-conscious, once you get over that, you feel a lot better about yourself. I personally was never self-conscious about it, but that's just because I had it my whole life. It seemed normal. When I was in preschool, my friend kept making me show it to her because she had never seen one before, so it was, like, interesting, which is pretty funny. So, this video is sort of awareness for several things. One other thing, bullying. I was bullied horribly, in 4th grade especially. In 2nd grade it was bad, and I switched from Catholic school to public school. 3rd grade was great, like, fun year, nice, awesome teacher. 4th grade. And this one girl, I thought she was my friend, started being weird, making up stories about me. By around the middle of 4th grade, end of 4th grade, like late winter or early spring, she had all the girls in the grade not speaking to me. Boys were my friends. It was like, oh, they're not drama-filled, they're nice. anyone who's going through bullying, tell your mom, tell your dad. It is not tattling, it is telling. I know, and this is coming from a person who has had to tell, who has said to my mom, this is going on, what should I do? I've even, and stand up for yourself. It's really hard, but eventually, you do say something. Now, this is a good one. Now, you might tell them, shut up, stop it. Don't punch, because that will just get you suspended. Unless they are physically hurting you, then you have a right to physically hurt them back, because that's protecting yourself. But if they're verbally abusing you, tell them, shut up, stop it. And if they say, I'm going to tell, do not get upset, do not apologize. Say, fine, go ahead. Because I did that to her quite a few times and said, every time she said, I'm going to tell. So I said, go ahead. She never told. Another thing, if it gets that bad, try and find a way to maybe switch schools, or I homeschooled in middle school because it got so awful. Try and never stop being yourself. Don't, to make fun of the way you dress, do not dress the opposite to piss her off, actually, because I was really upset about it. I would dress even wackier than I usually did, because I dressed pretty geeky when I was little. Don't, no matter what you are, if you have a medical issue, if you're being picked on, or both, don't feel try to not feel self-conscious. Be open about it, and you're not alone. And if you see a kid who's different, maybe a new kid, a kid who doesn't, maybe you can't judge right away. If a kid doesn't run as fast as other kids, maybe they have, does not mean they're a slowpoke. Maybe they have asthma. Maybe they have something like me. If a kid is short, especially for boys, it's much tougher. Don't call him shorty or anything. Maybe he can't grow right. Like, I had a friend who had a similar thing to me, and kids weren't nice to him because he was short. So, just because the person seems a little different, until you get to know them, don't judge just by looking and going, slowpoke or retard, because they can be very nice people still. Trying to raise awareness for things that aren't acknowledged as much. Thank you.